Good afternoon, everybody. I am so glad you're with me. Let's see who's here today. Linda Langdon is the only one. Well, she's the first one here. Not the only one, but the first one here. Let me move this out of the way so you can see us. Here comes the working man. Look, oh my God, look at you, honey.
Well, I've been working. I've been trying to get ready, but it didn't work.
Oh my land! And your white shirt is making the camera dark.
Huh?
Your white shirt's making the camera dark.
Oh.
Go change. We'll take the time. Just put another shirt on. Oh wow. He's been working today, you guys. Working in the yard and digging and Linda, it's a beautiful day in the Cornerstone neighborhood. Yes, it is. Hey Noelle, how are you, pretty girl? Hey Deb. I need a shape up. Deb. Hello, Buzz. We missed you on Tuesday, but I hope you're okay. We're glad you're here today. As I said, my husband's been working in the yard. We've had HVAC men here most of the morning, and it's just life in the fast lane. Baby girl's right here getting her treats, and we're doing good. Pastor's been, of all things, digging in the dirt today. Fixing some drainage in our yard. And it's just been a busy morning, very busy morning. We got up early and then we started moving around and doing stuff the minute we got up. But anywho, I'm glad you're here. Let's do this little quick. You ready? Yeah. Come on in. Yeah. You look like you're worn out.
I am.
You worn out?
Yeah.
Let's do this quick affirmation. It's real quick, but it's worth doing. And I sent out an email this morning. Let me know if you got the email from me this morning. I sent the love poem out. Several of you asked for it, so I just sent it out in a mass email. Let me know if you got it. And if I don't have your email, let me have it. And if it's an old email and you changed, let me know that as well, because several people I had on the list, we weren't able to get through to them. So anywho, do that for me. And Linda said she did get it. Thanks, Linda. And James D., how are you? He said the sound is echoing. Oh, you were playing to the music intro. Well, I've been trying some new things that StreamYard's doing, and I don't know how it sounds when it comes to you. It may have to change the mode when we're doing music, but anyway, I'm glad you let me know that, James. And let's see, Linda got it, Buzz got it, yeah, okay, and Noah got it. Good. I'm glad you did. Well, anyway, take a deep breath, center in, and let's give ourselves a spirit treatment. Spirit treatment. Okay. I want you to repeat after me. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for this awareness. For the awareness of my existence. I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. And amen. Okie dokie. Very good. All right. Can you squeeze in just a little bit, young man? I know you're tired. You gonna be able to do anything today? Mm-hmm. You're so tired.
Yeah. I gotta make it through.
All right, Dee Dee, how you doing, sweetheart? How are you and George? Okay. Where do you want to start?
When
Yeah, and by the way, Pastor Norman's out of town, so that's why he's not on here today. He'll be back on next week, hopefully.
when we come to the place of real, or the realization of experiencing waking up, I'm going to try to tell you as close as I can the full definition of waking up and the impact that it has on the way you see things, the way people meet you or you meet them. And there is a sacrificial surrender that can only be initiated by the eligibility of your eternal self from within the zero state. The zero state, I'm taking my time with it because it was something we picked up yesterday while we were in there talking to each other, and it hit both of us.
It did.
That when you go into zero state, you really don't go. You're already there at zero state. There's nothing to ask for or seek unless you fall back into the fall of man, fall back into grasping, seeking, trying to get what you already are. And the thing that you already are in your eternal essence is all the things that you would ask for in your mind, in your prayer time, in your study, in pain and suffering. Pain and suffering is the result of not seeing or being aware of what you already are.
Yes.
If you were to see how and what you already are, actually, it would paralyze you with such a degree of withdrawal from this world and this life that you would find out that everything that's done here in this dimension is not real.
Okay.
And somebody inside, I just heard it in mind say, you're not going to tell me that my mother or my doctor told me that I would have to have surgery. Yes, I'm talking about that too. Not being real does not mean that the dream ceases to exist. It means that you finally see through it and what's behind it.
Yes.
You don't try to change it. You change.
So we talked yesterday about true surrender or absolute surrender is when you stop trying to fix it,
And
stop trying to manifest it, stop trying to put forth effort to change anything, and allowing trust that comes from your pure self to be lived out.
You see, the fire presence, the hot burning furnace fire of the presence of the infinite identity do not have to be asked or prayed to remove anything from you. And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
We don't have to give up to this flame or give permission to it, because it is the presence of who we are in these bodies. We are the flame of fire that hell itself, that it put it like this, the flaming fire that we are consumes the fires of hell. And the fires of hell is your misplaced identity. The fires of hell is the thinking mind, sophisticated reasoning. The fires of hell is all the stuff that you're asking for that you think you need to get God to give you so you can get certain things straightened out. The fires of hell is the presence that is revealing to you that you can't do it. That's the fires of hell. And even that conversation of trying to do it will be burned up.
Yes, and
It's not a good way to say it, but that's just
no,
it.
but that's the fires of hell is this. We kind of stumbled across this conversation that we're talking about now, dealing with a young lady that is obviously troubled, and this particular young lady doesn't really adhere to what you advise her or you say to her. She's too wrapped up in it, and she's spiraled down into those emergency emotions and is suffering and is in fact in hell.
Mm-hmm.
She is in the fires
And
of
she
hell.
said she switched over from the God identity of the Jesus Christ, whatever she was in, and went back to this lady who could do all kinds of dark acts of things to get her back to what she wanted.
So in essence,
and it's not working.
Yeah, and so in essence, what she's done, she's traded the absolute trust of what God will do for and as you, through you. She's traded that for all of this effort to put forth and looked for her rescue or intervention outside of that rest. And what has it has caused her so much suffering. And I don't know if she knows how to make the switch.
She can't. She can't. I don't think any of us know how. Mm-hmm. We go through it, and then in a second, a minute, we go through it. You have to catch the person or the being right there at that point when it happens. If you don't, it's like an argument in a husband and wife. Yeah. If you don't catch when it starts, when you go back over a month,
once
a week
the
later,
emotions get stirred,
hey, you don't remember what started the fire.
And it's kind of like that. I use our baby girl as an example, our dog. Because when she sees, say, a squirrel, when we're walking and she sees a squirrel or some little animal, she likes to chase things. She's got the hunting instinct. So when she sees that, if I'm not alerted to that, and when she gets still and she does this, she's already in the mode. Mm-hmm. So I have to stay alert enough to catch her in that mode mm-hmm. before she jumps and lunges forward. So it's almost like you have, and I remember this, Tony Robbins, years ago, I heard him on a tape, cassette tape actually. And he said there was this lady that came in his office and she was very upset, panicking. I don't know what happened in the scenario, but she came in panicking and was just upset to the point of where he couldn't get through to her at all. She was just so frustrated and panicky. And so what he did, which was extreme, is he took a glass of water and threw it in her face. Mm-hmm. And when he threw it in her face, she came out of it. She came out of that state of suffering. Mm-hmm. It broke it immediately. That's an extreme way to do it, but mm-hmm. that's what was needed to get her out of the fire of hell. Mm-hmm. Because she was stuck in the fire of hell with her suffering.
Mm. Okay.
Let me see. Buzz got a comment here. He said, "A Course in Miracles talks about the disappearance of the universe. It's talking about the disappearance of the illusion or dream of separation and Buzz. Seeing it through correct perception, love." Yeah, that's right.
Now, Buzz, the Course in Miracle talks about this. Mm-hmm. You've seen it and you read it and you're bringing it to our attention right now. But let me tell you something, Buzz. Somewhere down the line, you may or you may not forget this quotation. If you don't forget it, you will forget it, what you just said, because what you said cannot, will not, and absolutely does not take the place of your eternal self making this real to us.
Yeah, so going beyond.
I'm glad you said it, because
yeah.
There will be a translation, interpretation of what you just read in the Course that will appear to you in the voice and the likeness of who you are. That's my point. What you just read there is telling you you are already what you just quoted from the book. Mm-hmm. You are the book that the book was written from.
Yes. So And what you're saying is going beyond any mental reference,
Yes.
going beyond anything I've learned or read until it's actually and actually true for me. I have seen this.
Give you an example. You eat something. You do not sit there and keep looking at it, memorizing what you eat in order for the digestive system to work. It'll work when you're asleep. It'll work when you're walking. It'll work when you're talking there. It does not wait on permission from your mind to digest. The things of the pure self, of the spirit that works these things out, is outside of the ego, outside of hell, Satan, and any kind of evil. You could go through hell right now with gasoline drawers on, and the fire would not touch you because the gasoline drawers is the awareness of your full impact of your eternal essence. And if you're not fully aware of that essence, when you go to hell or go through this, it will absorb you. You don't allow this to absorb you. You absorb it to the point that by your nature, you burn hell up and anything else that's resisting your true identity.
So one of the things that we said yesterday too is that the ego, and I think the course mentions this as well. See, Pastor and I have not studied the course.
No, we've looked at it. I got the books, got all kinds of them.
So we've looked at it, but we've not studied it,
and we're not finding anything wrong with it. They're good. They're fine.
Right. But I'm just saying, because if we start to talk like we have, I just want to let you know that we have not.
Yeah. And if we don't talk like that, eventually you will see it in somewhere, some book, somewhere.
Right. So my point is this, that I think the course does mention something about what I'm about to say, that the ego has developed alternative ways to get home.
Yeah.
Alternative rituals.
Yes.
Salvation rituals.
Sickness, disease, anything. It'll use anything.
That really doesn't get a person home, but
that's right.
It's like there's so many rituals developed and created that give people the impression that they're going to get home. And when they embark on these particular rituals, they have to put forth a lot of effort. So it burdens that already conditioned self.
Yeah, that's right.
And it gives that conditioned self the illusion that it is now arrived, or it is trying to arrive. And what we're saying is, you can go beyond just that. You can go beyond trying to fix, trying to manifest, trying to change. You can go beyond that and actually live in a place of peace. You don't have to live in the fires of hell, of the suffering. You can live in a place of peace where you're aware of your oneness, you're aware of the oneness, and everything is okay. And we talk like this because we always have our allegiance has always been to Christ, Jesus Christ. So we came through the portal of Christianity into this spirituality, and Jesus, our guru, led us into this awakening. So we always refer back to the Christian world and the Christendom when we talk, because that's where we came out of.
Perception has no more to do with you trying to understand something.
Yeah.
It has no more to do with you trying to study or buy a book. Go ahead, study. That's your journey. That's your journalist journey for you to find out these things. When it all come around, before you get into the house, you'll have to do what God told Moses to do.
Yes.
Take your shoes off for the place whereon you stand, and the place of your identity where you see.
Yes. It's holy.
It's holy ground.
It's holy
I just felt the presence of a light being walk up behind me, come through the door. I wasn't expecting that. When I started talking that, he want me to tell you this. When you start talking in line with the pure consciousness of God, and it's not, please understand me, pure consciousness has nothing to do with quotations of statements that others have made that seem to be a quality of perfection or a quality of answering exactly what you wanted to hear. you ain't heard nothing yet until you feel and sense God as your true self express what somebody else has said. If what I say to you, he does not from inside of you express it to you, drop it.
Yes. Yes.
Drop it.
Yes.
And most of them,
Yes.
most of them guys that operate in the you can have what you say and what we say will come to pass. Watch your words. I got enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard where a lady went around and told Kenneth Copeland and others that she could have what she says. So she said she wanted Kenneth Copeland for her husband, and he's already married. He don't be bothered with her.
Well, and this generation, well, I won't say this generation, but this day and time, most people who even embark into spirituality still are looking for ways to manifest things and stuff and to have a perfect life, and there's no such thing as a perfect life with no ups and downs where you get everything you want and things you don't want you never have to deal with. That does not exist.
Listen to this. There is no place and nowhere distance anymore about anything you can ask me or ask anybody on this site today to tell you how to get to a certain position and place in God. There is no way they are going to be able to tell you and it fulfill its destiny at that moment unless it is the pure presence of your eternal self inside of you. They sing a song we used to have in church, Jesus on the outside working to the inside, or Jesus in the inside working to the outside. Oh, what a joy it is. There is a joy that comes from what we're talking about. Yeah. All you little buzzers out there. It's something about, there's something about you that you can't quite put your finger on, but you know that there is something more than what you've been talking and touching on. As I speak today, I know that there's something that I'm saying to you that words cannot reach you, but there's a communication of your faith that comes through the actual existence of your eternal being, no beginning, no end self.
Yes.
It has a way of getting things across to you that will stick with the gray matter of your brain and reform and reshape the way you see things. And you'll never have to struggle with it again.
That's true. I want to acknowledge a person here that I just realized who that is. That's Angel from at the hospital when you got your shoulder done.
Oh,
hey, yeah. Angel, I wanted to make sure I acknowledge you, sweetheart.
I saw that. Yes.
I'm glad you're with us today.
Good evening, you. How are you doing? I would like to come over there sometime and look at all the nurses over at the hospital that was with me in the room when I left the last time. It was 7 or 8 of them in the room. I'd like to be able to look at the essence and the presence of all of you and give you guys some of the most amazing hug and the most amazing flowers. And there's only one of the greatest words in the universe that can be used toward you guys is thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So I'm glad you're here, Angel. Thank you, darling.
Angel Lee.
Yeah. Now, Buzz says this. It's difficult for me to talk about these things without mentioning God and
that's
Jesus.
Right. That's right.
And some don't like it.
That's right.
And that's true. And it's okay. It doesn't matter. I am convinced that no matter where your allegiance lies, you can wake up in any religion, any spiritual group, you can wake up. You will wake up no matter what your allegiances are. And because we came through, staunch religion, judgmentalism, and holy than thou. And we came through that channel. So I understand what it's like. We know what it's like to be absolutely judgmental and think everybody else is going to hell if they don't do it your way, and to come out to a place of all inclusiveness where we accept that everyone is okay. If they find out who they are, they will be fine. And that's the thing that we said this before. When we had 500 members and we had this large building in church, we were doing church just like everybody else. When we dropped the judgmentalism, when we dropped saying that you need to get saved or you're going to hell. When we dropped saying that you're not living right and allow people to live their lives the way they wanted to live, when we stop policing people and stop being the Holy Spirit to people and trying to do and keep the house of God from being contaminated. When we dropped that, is when people started walking away. But the people that walked away were the ones who were still locked into those things. So we understand what that's like. We really do know what that's like. It was tough. It was tough for us. Linda says this: I spent 20 years studying A Course in Miracles. I'm thankful for the stepping stone. It was for me. For me, I reached a limit with it and grew weary with repeating the lessons. I always have resisted rituals and dogmas. Me too, Linda. If I gotta go through a whole lot of rituals, I can't do it.
By now, if I was in the brick and mortar like we used to be, many of you guys that are online with us now, I would have called you, contacted you, and sent you a ticket or the money to get here to be in our presence or us to get together. But since things have changed, I can't do that now. I'm just telling you that I was, and we still are, in a position where we want the living Christ that you already are to come in front of the presence of the living Christ that we all each other's are. I like this, but I hate from a God state of having to struggle with what I know that is not me struggling. You are not struggling with anything. I am not either. I just made that statement to you because I want you to know if there's any struggle. Now, like I'm coming from Lowe's down there, and I've been working out in the yard today, and I've been pushing this thing.
Yeah.
And I need to quit, but I got the yard towed up, and I got to do it. But anyway, my ears been ringing in both of them since they went deaf.
Ever since you left the hospital for your shoulder.
Ever since I left the hospital, my ears have been bouncing. It's
been over a month and a half, maybe 2 months now. Yeah.
And the doctor told me to give it 6 months, but I can hear you. But if I want to really hear you, I turn my head to the side. The bell's been ringing. I feel like I've been about to fall today, pass out. I know I need to finish what I did. I'm trying to do what I used to do when I was 13. I know I can't do it, but I got to surrender. I'm going to have to probably call somebody else in
to finish
it up. But I don't have any problem with that. But here it is. My mom, when she was 96, was in the grocery store, and she needed to ride on one of those scooters.
Yep. And I was the one who took her to the grocery
store.
And
my wife here was the one that was the caretaker.
Which was a whole day's work.
She go to the grocery store and you get one of them things. She refused.
She would not ride
and
that
the first
car.
thing she said to me was, I can't give up.
Yeah.
Listen to me, baby. You guys. You're going to have to give up.
Yes, that's it.
But you're not going to give up because I said you have to.
And we're not talking about being passive. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about letting go of the effort, the internal effort to try to make things work, to make things happen. That's where the suffering's coming from.
I would like to be able to stand physically in front of all of you and watch the magnificent work of your inward journey of spirit. Make a change. I would stand there and watch it. I could see it. And I see it changing people everywhere I go. It is changing you in an effortless fire. The holy fire of God. When Jesus appeared to me, I saw his heart, and the holy fire of God was burning up words, shooting out the top of my head that I couldn't even speak and wouldn't dare say. But now that I know that this fire of God is totally different from what most people say, I fasted and prayed and got rid of this. I prayed long enough and got rid of this. And I called on God. And I went to church and got rid of it. I'm telling you that what you're getting rid of is a false you trying to get rid of it.
Yes. Now, there's a scripture, and you made me think of it when you were talking. It's in Philippians for those who are Bible students. There's a scripture that says, Philippians 2:13 says, "For it is God
Mm.
which works in you,
Mm-hmm.
both to will
Mm-hmm.
and to do
Mm-hmm.
of his good pleasure." So the will to
That's what I'm
do
talking about right there.
and the performance
That's
is
it.
all God working in you, not
Mhm.
you doing it on your own,
Mm-mm.
not you trying to fix it, not you trying to manifest it.
Hey, you can do it. And God will be beside your doing, initiating the doings of his presence.
In other words, God is the motivator.
Yeah,
It's,
he's right
yes.
beside you or in you as you doing it. And you think that all of a sudden you had breakthrough.
Mhm.
You already been through.
But
But God let it go on like
yes,
that.
and so we said this yesterday, and I've come into the realization of this, that when it's time for you to hear something that you're supposed to hear to take you to your level, to continue the process of your evolution,
Mhm.
it comes to you automatically, doesn't it?
That's right.
Any teaching word, that it comes to you automatically. You don't have to struggle.
This thing we used to have in church, when something didn't go right, you must have missed God. Your parents may have told you many things
Mhm.
that you thought you understood and went down the road and come back
Mhm.
and you found out you misunderstood them.
Exactly.
But because you
Yeah.
misunderstood them,
Yeah.
your mama didn't or your dad didn't say, now someone might have done this, but be realistic. They wouldn't say to you, that's all right. I ain't gonna be your daddy mama no more because you forgot it.
No, that's right. That's right. Now, Buzz says this: Christianity seems to be the most misunderstood. And it is,
It
because
is.
a lot of people have been bruised and hurt and wounded by Christians who were dogmatic and legalistic. And so it is the most misunderstood. And then there's so many different versions of Christianity. You have the holy rollers, and then you've got the liturgical ones, and you've got the Baptist ones. I mean, you've got, it's so many versions of Christianity till it is so confusing to most people. And so I understand exactly what you're saying. So he said he tried to make sense of it. If I didn't study different traditions as I do, I wouldn't understand what I understand. Yeah, and for those of us who came through that legalistic, dogmatic channel of Christianity, it's difficult for them to just break out of the fear that they're going in the wrong direction when they start to embrace and look into other traditions. A lot of times they're afraid that they're going to they're going to get into a wrong spirit. That's what they call it, a wrong spirit. They're going to be seduced by a wrong spirit. And so it's a lot of people that are actually afraid. That's why I say the first step to enlightenment is courage.
Mhm.
It's absolutely courage to ask the questions that are most risky
Mhm.
until you get the answers.
Buzz, I don't, I used to, but I don't now look around when I'm going places to see if there's an opening for me to talk to somebody about what we're talking about on the line now, or getting saved and all that. I used to do that, but I don't even mess with people with that anymore because I see, there's a something about when I found out that God does not miss anything. When I found out where He was and the position He is right here online with us. If I want to talk to God, I talk to me. If I want to talk to me, I talk to God.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that. I don't see any. I don't see any more distance with us and God or people. I just know that they don't. Some of them may know what I see when I look at them. Some may not. And sometimes I know when one passes me that I look at them, that my attention is going off to something else. But I still know that I haven't left God and God haven't left me. So I don't know. I'm gonna evaluate what can I do to get rid of God.
What can you do to get rid of God?
Yeah.
Okay.
We always trying to find out what can we do to have more or to see it more. I'm going to try to see if I can get rid of it.
Okay.
It ain't going to work. The only thing you're going to pull up is your consciousness of believing or your awareness of believing that since because your mind don't think on certain things a certain way that it used to, that you finally got rid of God. You might as well go on and paddle up the creek backwards because it ain't going to work. You ain't going to get rid of him, but go drink every moonshine bottle in the liquor store.
And it won't change a
and
thing.
get so drunk you don't even remember your address.
And most of the people that have those issues in their lives where they have these vices and they want to, they know that they're going overboard with them to the point of harm or whatever, but usually it's their own judgment that's against them. It's not God at all. It's their own judgment. And that's what we left on the inside of ourselves is trying to change people, trying to make sure people live a certain way. And I think that's a lot of what's happening in our government now is we have a party that's trying to put people in a box and make them live based on their convictions. And it's not working. It's just not working for our country. Linda says, Job 23:14, he performs the thing that is appointed for me. Yeah, you mentioned that on Tuesday. That's a good scripture. He performs the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him. That's good, Linda. Thank you for that.
Unity consciousness will burn up everything that don't need to be in our life or in front of the life of Christ. Jesus Christ can sit there and look at something and never react to it in the sense of the way we think. But there's a love with him. Do you know that every person that's in the hospital now, he is with them and in them?
Yeah, actually in that bed as them.
Well, how you know this? I know it.
It's not what we read.
I found out that I could find it in the Bible.
It's not what we heard.
It ain't nothing we're gonna hear in the church.
But it's a knowing that's come from within.
We always hear people saying, "I'll be praying that the Lord be with you. I'll be praying that you're an angel. I'll be praying." All I tell them, I say, just affirm with me right now that the Lord Jesus is in that bed and he's you in the bed. Yes. I can't believe he in there. If God was in me, I wouldn't be sick. I wouldn't be out here. He said, I was sick and you visit me not. He said, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. He is the one that's hungry.
Exactly. So therefore, he will be the one that's fed.
Thank you. This is called journey, open-minded seeing. Yes. I want to see him.
Buzz says this, I sometimes have wondered if I'm being deceived, but I try to think if what I'm learning is harmful. I think how I feel, think, perceive is a pretty good indication of that. And and I always ask this question of myself, the inquiries within myself, is this thought or this that I'm hearing or learning, is it for me or against me? And usually you'll have a good indication of what, but you mentioned this, that the other day, not the other day, but about a week ago, you had an incident to come up during a conversation with Miss Deborah. When we first had a conversation with her on a private Zoom, where you were shown at that moment, and I don't know if you can bring it back and talk about it again. You were shown how to see the difference between truth and falsehood.
Yeah, he showed it to me from the very young adventure stage of seeing him on the steps, and if you to bear witness of this, I was using my mind to see what Jesus was hiding under his robe. I wanted to see what was underneath there, what he had on. Did he have any bloomers on? Did he have a bra on?
Just that inquisitive.
So he coming down the stairs, and I'm standing there looking at him. Both of us looking at him, and I'm wondering, what does it look like on his feet? What is his feet doing?
Yeah.
So I saw him come down the stairs. He glided down the stairs, but I never saw him take a step. But I know he had legs because I looked at him. I saw him.
Right.
So he come down the stairs, and I looked through his clothes. and I put sandals on his feet.
With your
mind
imagination.
actually did that, and I used it to do it. And he allowed me to do that. And no sooner than I put them on, he took them off. We were playing a put on, take off adventure. And then this
well, week, and that's what you're saying, that what you tried to do with your imagination, he deliberately removed it because he wanted you to know that truth has nothing to do with what you imagine.
I saw the picture on the wall. I turned away from him and looked at the picture of him on the wall. He said, I look not like the picture on the wall, neither can the hand of a man paint me with a brush.
Exactly.
They tried to. And I said, well, what is missing? He said, life. That picture is dead.
Yes. Yes.
It does not bear the life essence. Whoever wrote it, whoever put it out there, squares the unction of the juice of God through their fingers and mine to give off the best that they could of what he looked like. You cannot put on paper what God is as you. You can try to communicate it. Yes. My old mentor, one of them said, man, God don't talk all the time. And I went along with it. But I'll tell you this, what I found out. He may not talk all the time, but he never stopped communicating.
Communicating, exactly. Sadie says this, for when you tell somebody what you've been through in the church, they tend to look at you as like you're a fool. And she said she learned to stay in her own lane. Yeah, that's good.
Hey, listen to this.
You have to.
The ones in the church may look at you like a fool, but listen to this, Miss Linda. They the one that's sending you there.
That's Sadie.
Okay, Miss Sadie. They may look at you like a fool, but they're the fool that's called you to go through it.
Exactly. And it's so unfortunate, Sadie, that a lot of people just don't come to the place of having enough courage to question what they've experienced and learned in church. And not all churches now. We're not going to lump all churches into this basket because not all churches are absolutely asleep. Some churches are more awake than others. And we have learned that.
Look at that. That's about the bloomers.
That's Ilona. She said
Ilona.
When you said bloomers.
Bloomers. Oh, Lord, Bishop is crazy funny.
Yeah.
I am telling you. Yeah. I'll tell somebody in a minute when it comes down to mess with me about this stuff. Go find you a 50-foot water hose and 50 golf balls and blow every one of them through it.
See, you got him started, Ilona. Now that's
Oh,
you got him started. Usually it's Linda that gets him started.
Yeah, but I tell you to go out there and play in traffic and leave me alone. You better go ask somebody about me. Oh, shucks, yeah.
Oh, now, my goodness.
I don't like being sassy. I don't like rudeness, but I'll tell you the truth. That you don't like, you're going to get a bunch of that until you find out how not to respond to it.
Exactly. How to surrender to not having to fix it, not having to manifest a better future, all of that. That's to surrender the effort that we put forth.
I went to a club one night, and I had no idea that God took me to a club. An old service station truck.
Gulf,
52
it was a Gulf,
years ago.
With Gulf sitting on the side of it, sign saying Gulf. And it was a tow truck.
It was an old truck, Chevrolet truck. Me and old boy bought it together, so we ride around with it and bought the truck together. And
wasn't it blue? It was blue.
It was kind of a blue.
It was like blue. It was blue and it had a the Gulf sign was kind of orange like.
That old Chevrolet truck, boy, it was something. And I decided to go to a club that night. And when I got there, all the boys were standing outside. I put a flask of liquor in my coat pocket, camel hair coat, a camel hair hat.
Yeah. Apple cap.
Apple cap.
It was an apple.
I still wear
one of those wide caps.
And I went in an alpaca sweater. I went.
A red one.
Yeah, red one. And the guy let me go in free.
There was hardly anybody there.
There wasn't nobody there that Friday night. I decided to go inside. And I wasn't going to dance. I just wanted to go in and see who was in there. And God was working and walking through my feet. When I looked around, I saw the guy that my wife's cousin had married. He and I and all the other guys, we used to run together and do crazy stuff. And his name was Freddie, and I saw him in there. And when I looked forward to the left, this girl was sitting there on the left. I looked at her and I sat down and we talked. I didn't talk to her much then, but I did say, "You want to dance?" I really didn't want to dance because I couldn't keep up with it.
It was in those days we did slow drag, and you guys nowadays they don't do a whole lot of that. They just wiggle a whole lot.
Yeah, I didn't. I was slow. Then I said, "Let's go sit down." She said at the table that she's ready to go home.
Yeah, and actually, I was there because I didn't have anything else to do, and Norm and Freddie, my cousin and her fiance, they wanted to go out, and they said, "Well, come and go with us." And so I was a third wheel. I was just there, and I didn't really want to be there. But
so she got in my golf truck, and it started raining.
Yes, it did.
I went up through that,
as you say, raining to beat the band.
It rained like a cow peeing on a flat
rock. Yeah.
And got up there, and the gears locked up in that old truck in the rain. I had to get out in my alpaca.
And I was scared I was going to be stranded. In the rain.
Yeah. But you know what? That would have been the best strandedness I could have ever had.
But that was the night that my feelings about you changed, because before that I was avoiding you. Because every time I saw you, you were intoxicated.
Please don't say that no more.
But this particular night, you were not intoxicated, and I wanted to go home.
And the reason why I like that, because, excuse me, I didn't have no damn sense.
And so when it started to rain and the gears locked up in the truck, I thought, I'm going to be stranded.
I knew what to do.
And he got out in the rain
to fix it
with his camel hair, coat,
and that alpaca sweater,
and that camel apple
cap, wool.
Beautiful clothes. Got out there with his Johnny Bull shoes, and under that truck,
handmade shoes,
laid on his back
and
unlocked them gears.
I sure did.
And I thought,
because I couldn't unlock them, and it's a 3-speed shifter, and we put a Hertz shifter in there, and I couldn't unlock it up there, so I had to go underneath that and unlock it.
And I said to myself, this young man is resourceful, and he doesn't care more about his clothes than he does me. He's willing to get his clothes messed up to get me home. And I thought, maybe he's all right.
See, I wanted some sugar.
But that was the night. That was the night. But anyway, that's our story.
And while we was on the dance floor,
I heard that story a million times.
But I love it. I love it because
he'll tell it all day long, and everybody.
That was a moment in my heart that was the focal point of God sending me to earth.
And God was in all of that.
In the bowling alley.
In our decisions.
Yep.
And our choices. In our God was in it that night. Because had we not gone that direction, we never would have met each other. So it was all meant to be. So Linda says this: it takes great courage to question your comfort zone.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I question every comfort zone that is comforted.
Buzz said he used to not have any sense either.
That's right. And Buzz, I'm gonna be honest, you still ain't got none. I don't mind telling Buzz, you just ain't got no sense. And ain't nothing wrong with that not having no sense, because you got to not have no sense in order to understand what we talking about.
I know that's right.
What you talking about?
You hanging in there with
us.
That's
why them folks you trying to talk to them, tell them about what happened to you about Jesus. They ain't got no sense either. So all of us ain't got no sense. Might well just let it roll, bud. Let it roll.
Alona says your humor is taken well, but I heard the way you both teach helps her in a way that she can't express. Thank you, sweetheart.
Well, I'm gonna tell the boss man to give you a raise too, girl. Listen, I was in my sleep last night thinking about coming downstairs and getting a frying pan, warmed up that stove, put some bologna on the stove. And I saw myself take some cheese and some stuff and mix together and soften up
some stuff,
yeah. And took some bread and put it down in the side of that the eggs and cheese and put it on the stove and made some type of bread cheese out of it. And she come downstairs and I said, try it. She said, I got to tell her about you cooking. she don't know. I can fix little stuff, and so I just don't know how to work the
Yeah,
stove.
he
Yeah,
knows.
that's what it
He
is,
knows
so.
microwave.
Yeah, I microwave that.
Microwave.
But if I get them buttons in there on that stove, I know how to. I can fix her something. I remember one time I did fix something, take breakfast to her in the bed when we was at your daddy's house. I did.
Oh my God.
I did,
Oh
Dylan.
my
I
goodness.
bought you something to bed. Yes, I did.
Yes, one time. He
Uh-huh.
fixed me breakfast once, and I said, I don't care if he does it ever again,
And I
because
go there.
he messed up so many dishes and
Don't
stuff.
worry about
I
it.
don't.
You got the job.
I don't
done.
want to cook. I don't want him to cook anymore. He does cook. I wouldn't mind him cooking a little bit. But Alona says, "Where did you get the money to afford the clothes like that back then?"
Who said that?
Alona.
Well, sweetheart,
he always did, sweetheart. He always did.
my shoes at the time in school, I was out of school. I was working in RT Rentals during that time. That's part of what I did. But before I started to work in the 11th, 12th grade, I wore these same type of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And my suits were always handmade, and shoes was $60 to be handmade. Took about 3 to 6 months to get them. I went to school with designer type clothes, Senza belt, slacks. They still make them, I believe.
Yeah.
And the shirts that I wore.
But you worked while you were in high school, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was working in rentals from the 11th to the 12th grade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I was working in a godmother's classroom after school and cleaning
and
up
she
her.
was helping with you.
And she didn't know I knew about Johnny Bull's shoes, but
he loves Johnny Bull shoes. And
Yeah.
anybody, if you don't know what Johnny Bull shoes are, they are like they lace up. They're like boots.
Yeah, like
but they lace all the way up over the ankles, and they turn up like
my
this.
shoes turned up because I fixed them like that.
Right, he did. He fixed them, and so which he does all of that stuff. He still has that in him where he always fixes what he wants custom for him. But
that's where I got my money. And then my aunt and uncle put a little money I kind of squeezed out of them. But I wore the best clothes.
He did.
And when I married her, you guys, I didn't have but one suit. It's a Botany 500 pinstripe blue. And it had I didn't wore the paint so much that the seat was shining. And I wore a hooked on tie up here. Mm-hmm. But I've always worn that. But my point is that what we're talking about now is how God
was in every decision.
That I found out that was real inside of me. Mm-hmm. I can tell the difference from outside to inside, and when it happened, it changed. Mm-hmm. But she was the biggest portion of that had something to do with it. Yeah. At that last minute, I saw my gift, and my gift was her.
Linda said turnip shoes.
Yeah.
She said not turned up, turnip shoes.
Turnip. You know what, Miss Linda? You know what they used to call them? They used to call them shoes knobs.
They actually curl up in the front, your toes.
I bought a pair that was pointed on the end and had a little 1/4-inch heel on them and a thick 2-inch like sole, and they bent.
When we say turn up, we're not turned up, we said turned up.
They turn up in the front, stuck up in the air.
Turned up.
If you were walking down the hall and you was a slip and kick somebody in the butt, they would get stuck right there, and you'd have to pull them off to get out of them. But that's the point.
Linda says you're just being silly. We know that. We know that.
hey, I cut up like a crazy person.
But God was in every decision, every step we made. He was in it. God was making the steps as we did it without, and it was undetectable guidance. Mm-hmm. It was just being navigated, and God was at the steering wheel, and he was driving us where he wanted to go.
Now we're here. And all you guys went through what you had to go through to get to see us. Mm-hmm. And oh, what a wonderful day it is and has been that we run across each other in this unexpected God identity.
I know. It's wonderful.
We've always waited for each other when we come to earth. We look forward to saying to people all the time, I remember you in the great eternal deja vu. I remember you in the deja vu. I know you and you know me. Now we pass each other on the street.
That's called a wannabe rapper. A wannabe rapper.
I wasn't thinking about no rapping.
Hey Ollie, I'm glad you're on here.
Ollie J.
He said every time we appear, we turn out.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Well,
my God.
I'm
Thank
telling
you,
you what,
Ollie. Thank
you
you,
got to come
honey.
on in
Thank
there.
you.
Come on in the room.
It's just wonderful to know that you don't have to live in the fires of hell. You don't have to live in that world of suffering. But it requires that surrender of letting go of trying to fix it, letting go of trying to manifest it, and just allow. And we hear a lot about the law of attraction, but I call this the law of allowing, because you're just going to allow your good to happen by just not sitting back, but just trusting that you are being navigated, things are being orchestrated by God, for you, as you, by you, and it's just whatever you need is going to take place.
When I be out walking in the stores and I see children, dogs, children, I stop and look at them. I be wanting to say something to them. I like to talk to them
because they're so present.
That is so us, but I want to talk to them. I will. There's some people come past the house here, a little boy and little girl, they on their bicycle. Sometimes I'll get up out of my chair and I'll run out the front door. And I said, "Hold it, wait a minute, I want to talk to you." I asked their mama, whoever is keeping them, I said, "Can I talk to them?" They said, "Yeah." I talk to them and I just love talking to them. And I said, "Well, I'm glad you got a bicycle. How long you had?" I talk to them about. I get down in their world. And I talk to them about the world.
Yeah.
You are the greatest miracle that was ever put in shoes to walk on this earth. And even in the past, how you walked to school. God was in your feet walking through you. He was in the books that you studied as an instrument to bring you home. He was in the relationship that you had with your friends in school. He was in the birth of you in the earth. And he does not take that lightly. I take everything the way God take it, and you do too. Oh, I could tell you who you are right quick. And I could tell you what I see about you right quick. Because it's no different than what you have read out of any book. Anything that you read or studied about God, I'm going to tell you that's you.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah. Linda says surrender is freedom, and it is. And surrender for some of us has been the place of a lot of effort and suffering as well. We're not talking about trying to surrender, are we? We're not talking about that. It's a letting go.
I was down at Lowe's a few minutes ago, and I had to walk a long way to get from one end of that place to the other. They moved things around. When I got up to the counter to check out, I had to sit down on some boxes. And there was a man in front of me. He turned around and got a Mountain Dew out of the refrigerator. And I said to him, I said, "Oh, you got to get your little shot of Jack Daniel there before you can move on." He said, "Yeah, I got to get me a little shot." That moment of talking to people. Now, there's sometimes I don't want to talk to them about it, and they'll talk to me anyway. There's sometimes I don't want to be talked to because I'm ready to get home or get to a place where I can sit down.
Look who's here.
Hey,
Ollie.
Hey, look there. Hey, oh my God. It must go rain today.
Rise.
Come on in the room.
You called me in the room.
Come on in the room.
I appeared in the room.
You are in the room.
Oh my God.
We are each other's doctor. We bring each other medicine to our room.
And listen, grace and peace be multiplied unto all of the cornerstoners, all of our brothers and sisters. I am so happy to be in the room.
I'm glad you're in the room too, Ollie. It's good seeing your face.
Well, I dialed in and I didn't see my brother. I said, "Where's Brother Norman?"
Yeah, he's out of town this week and doing some things he couldn't be on.
Wow. Well, listen, anytime that you need a fill-in, I am always available.
Oh, yeah. I have to remember. You know how I am, Ollie. I have to have somebody remind me.
Well, the Holy Spirit worked it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good to see you out
It
there.
is.
I mean, we saw you not too long ago in person, but my God, when you come on surprises like this, hey, it square up the corners on my underwear, boy.
What are you talking about? I just happened to be finishing up my daily recording, and then I flipped over to you guys. So I was already in position.
Yeah.
And when I saw, the trio kind of, 2-0.
Yeah.
I said, let me do something about this.
Yeah.
Man, and we'd like to have you in there when Pastor Norma's here. We can handle one more person.
Man, it's a grand finale.
Listen, I am always available for you lovebirds.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know what? I really appreciate that. You make me want to cry because God used you to spearhead us into this that we're doing now. Mm-hmm. And the greatest.
I know he used to bug us about it all the time.
Yeah. But it was a setup and it was sitting straight.
Yeah. It was part of the original contract.
Yes, it was.
We agreed to this way before the foundation of the world.
Yeah.
I have a vision of Jesus walking into a classroom. And when he came into the classroom, everybody wasn't expecting him. And when he did, all their mouths and chin dropped to the floor. And I was sitting in this classroom, and I could see you there in the classroom. But you were standing in two places at the same time. You were seated out there in the classroom in one of those seats like we used to wear, or used to sit in, that were made out of wood, that oak wood.
I remember those.
And I saw you sitting out there and standing up there beside him at the same time. Yeah, yes, I see that. I see that vision. I see it now. And he told me, he said, whenever I show you something, you see it. He said, don't be reluctant to tell him what you see. But I said, Lord, I don't want to be telling him something be true and something not. He said, no, tell him everything you see is true because you see it.
Yeah, well, those were the exact words that was spoken to me with my mystical encounter back in 1988. Mm-hmm. That was the exact words that were spoken to me. I don't know how it was spoken.
Yeah,
but it was spoken to me. Say exactly what you see and say exactly what I tell you.
Yeah, and it's not hard.
It's not hard
because I see it. And somebody said, "What do you see?" I said, "Nothing." And some things I tell them I don't see because I don't think they. Well, here's 2 or 3 things. Yeah. Some things I tell them I see is for them, and what I see for them is a lot of times for me. And if it's for me, it's just God communicating with me of something through the function of vision and insight.
Right.
And he's training you. So he's been training you and I and others for years in their own, here come, in its own mystical way.
Yes.
Based on the contracts of communication that we signed up for before coming to earth to communicate this way. And it was a sign that we would see these things on earth and carry this conversation that we're having now. And the power of God is in the simple things of seeing in our lives.
Yeah. In fact, that's where you find the presence of God, in the simple things.
Yes. It's in everything. And that appointment, that calling is all inclusive. No one is without that calling on their life.
Right.
We just some of us just have awakened to it, and some continue to mask it with a false self.
Oh, there you go. You hit it right there.
So now that we have embraced this Christ vision that you're talking about, which is what it is.
Yes.
Now see through this point of view. We no longer see through the point of view of a separate self, but we see through the point of view of the ultimate original oneness that we are. So we but here now exercising a repeat of that which is always have been.
Yes.
Even in this conversation, even in this dispensation, even in this communication, even in this love fest that we're sharing here on this digital community.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw when I was encouraging you guys that God wanted you guys in the clouds.
Okay.
So you could take the lid off, because you was in obscurity, just being local.
Yes.
You were being covered up.
Yeah.
But you were being prepared all these years for what you're doing now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because what you're doing now through this virtual means, you couldn't do by the limitation of the body.
No, we
And the
couldn't.
mind.
In
Yes,
brick
sir.
and mortar. In brick and
Yeah.
mortar.
Yes,
It could only be done through this what Jesus saw way back then, before there was even a wire. He saw this
Yes.
ability to be in the cloud, to be able to speak all over the world from your home. You don't even have to crank up the Jeep.
Uh-oh. Look out there.
And so that's what I saw. That's what I saw when I came to the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And I heard the message of Christ coming from you guys. This cannot be limited geographically.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's got to go worldwide.
Yes.
And now you are worldwide.
Thank you, Lord.
I wanted to let Ilona know why you were called Ollie. It's my term of endearment for him, Ilona. His name is actually Oliver.
Yes.
And Oliver Blue is his name. He is the founder of Truly Live, Truly OB, I should say, and has
Truly
his own
Truly Foundation.
And Truly Foundation, and he has his own broadcast that comes on. If you go on YouTube, you'll find him. But I call him Ollie, and I think I'm the only one that calls him Ollie. She's called you Mr. Ollie.
He's the only man. Hey, he's the only man that I know that can kill a rock record train and dare a piece of iron to catch rheumatism.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. But I'm gonna finish up by saying this.
Okay.
You guys brought me out in a way that I couldn't understand how to bring myself out. You were and continue to be instrumental in the gift that I share.
Yes.
You unlocked so much in me just by your authenticity, by your realness, your sincerity, and I saw it, and it was my reconnection with you guys at the appointed time.
Because we hadn't seen you in a long time.
You hadn't seen me in probably 10 years, maybe or so.
Yeah.
But it was that experience, that connection, that was a part of what we had already agreed to before we came here.
Yeah.
Yes,
And now it's a realization.
It is.
We pull up the contracts in our eternal self, and the manifestation of that contract was us coming in contact with each other in this arena and this dimension. So now we can say the most powerful word we can say out of all of it is thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
well, I like to say to your community, those that are faithful watchers, viewers, that if you've been drawn to this vibration of the past because of your desire to wake up.
Yes.
But it's not just for you to hear these beautiful ideas, these high ideas about your identification, about your immaculate creation.
Yes.
But it's for you to take this vision of Christ that they're sharing with you. And in your world, you become the savior of your world. You become the giver of Christ's vision to all that are in your world, in every encounter, in every encounter that you have with humanity. See but the face of Christ in all humanity. Give them the innocence that you've been learning here that you are. Give it to the world. It is you're giving it away that you know that it is yours. It's not yours to hoard, but to give away.
Exactly.
So this is what I encourage your viewers as you're listening on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Sundays. Don't just get it to hoard it. It's given unto you. Peter said, that which I have received, give I unto you. We are to do the same thing.
Yes, yes.
So I encourage your viewers. You are mystical beings just like these two.
Yes.
You are unlimited beings just like these two.
Yes.
They're not here entertaining you, even though they can be entertaining. but they are here as a divine appointment to bring you to your complete awareness of your oneness with God.
That's it. Oh, so thank you so much, Oliver. Thank you. We so appreciate you chiming in here today.
Yeah, it's
And
a surprise, like a birthday cake.
yeah, and I know some are on their lunch breaks and may have to go.
Yeah.
And we've been on for about an hour and 13 minutes, but
Yeah,
I
we've been
didn't
on
want
a long
to
time.
I didn't want to miss a chance to get Oliver in here. And so we
didn't know he was coming, did we?
he just said to give him an email, and I sent him one of the link to get
Yeah,
in.
when I saw Mr. Norman missing, I said, "Hey, send me a link. I'll jump on in this place."
Like I said, now you can come in even when Norman is here. Hey, we got room for one more.
Yeah.
In the room.
Come on in the room.
So if I send you a link and you're free, you can come in anytime. That'd be wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you guys, we need to get you guys on the schedule.
Okay.
Also, like if you oblige me, tonight we're on at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
On our YouTube channel, Truly OB.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tonight we have a special guest, Ephraim Daniels, who is a producer, songwriter, a singer. He was the lead person in that musical project that was dedicated as a tribute to Bishop Mac Timberlake back in 2000, about 20 years ago, when they produced this album. And we used the music from those soundtrack. That's the music that we use on our platform. So he's going to be our special guest tonight, talking about that project, how it came about, talking about Bishop and Mac Timberlake. It's just going to be a feast. He's a tremendous human being, and you guys are welcome to join us.
Well, we'll certainly, I'll peep in on you.
Yes.
I will peep in on you.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we're gonna take the time to sign off now, but we appreciate you coming in to be with us, Oliver, and all of you who came in to watch us today and listen. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We will be back again on Sunday at 10 for our regular morning service on Sunday, and next week Pastor Norman will be back, and we might have Oliver with us next week.
Yeah, come on, get with us next Thursday.
Yeah. So we love you, and we're going to sign off now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.